What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome along to episode number 42 of the F1 Ultimate Career Series for the Canadian Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, make sure to go check that out as always before you see this one. And of course, make sure to get subscribed if you are new for more future F1 content as the series continues on. So, nearing the halfway stage of the 2022 F1 season, we head to Montreal for the first time since Season 1 to head for the Canadian Grand Prix. Should be very exciting there, but of course, we haven't got some resource points to spend going into this race weekend, so put those towards some more upgrades on our Mercedes. We look to try and close the gap to Red Bull and Ferrari. We'll put towards a major aero upgrade, and we'll go for one in the chassis department as well. I think in terms of upgrades, we've done the least on chassis so far, 5 upgrades compared to the 6 on aero and powertrain. So we'll go for one more on that front, and we'll go for another major one here on the engine cover. Hopefully that should help us over the next few races. That should come in hopefully before Canada. As you can see, we've closed the gap massively to Ferrari, but Red Bull still continue to increase that advantage R&D wise. Still the fastest car in the arms race there. Power unit looks all okay for now, but I think come the next race at Silverstone, we could be looking at potentially some changes or potentially take some risks going into that Grand Prix. The standings, so Verstappen currently 33 points in front of me and 27 points in front of Sainz. Obviously that's a gap that could close if Verstappen has a poor race, but given his form in the last few rounds, I doubt that's going to happen today. And obviously he's well in front of us in the rivalry by 12 points there, so I think likely we're going to have to sweat that one off and put that down as a defeat in our win-loss column. But advancing time now, getting set for what should be, as I say, a very exciting Canadian Grand Prix. Of course, the first race we did there in Season 1 F1 2020 was very entertaining, so I'm looking for more of the same here. The event in the durability department, have a look and see what's going on here. Trust department lead or go with instinct? So they've stated their opinion on where we take a development. I think the two options here, we'll accept what they've got to say in terms of the department lead, and from there see if that works out for us. I imagine we'll get the result of that after this race weekend. Perhaps before, I'll have to see what goes down. So weekly resources are now in, and we'll hopefully be able to make an upgrade or two more on the car. We'll look towards the powertrain department here. It's the only department that upgraded going into this Grand Prix. So we'll go for 2 minor ones if we can. So we've got just enough if we're lucky. I think we might just have enough by 2 resource points, only just. So getting both those in. So 4 upgrades coming in, 2 of them before this Grand Prix and 2 of them in before the next one. And that should help us close the gap to Ferrari even further, try and make ourselves stats second place team. And we failed both the upgrades, so the aero and chassis ones not coming through, unfortunately. One more set of weekly resources. Can we have enough points to repair either upgrade on the car? Had to have a double check here. Nope, it would appear not. 800 points required for both, unfortunately, so no upgrades for this episode. Our gap is closed a little bit, so 750 for the chassis one. But regardless, we can't make that upgrade, so we have to move on to the next race. Hopefully we can try and fix that. But time now to jump over to Canada and get this race weekend underway. Time then for qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix, and I must say the weather in Montreal looks absolutely fantastic. This is probably the nicest I've seen it on the F1 game in quite some time. But going off now, out the pit exit and going towards what is obviously to rejoin the track at turn 2. So looking on for our first flying lap, and of course aiming overall for this weekend for our second race win of the season. Of course, it's been a good few rounds. Obviously Verstappen and Red Bull have had the edge the last couple of races. Obviously we've finished second twice in the last 2 rounds, so we just try and break their duck at last and get our second win on the board. So going towards turn 1 then for our first qualifying lap into the left-hander at turn 1, met immediately with the right-hander of turn 2. So be very careful because a bad run through one corner could set you up poorly for the next one. Charles Leclerc right behind us, but we made a cut of Pierre Gasly by going a bit wide on our line there in turn 2. So going down towards turns 3 and 4 now, you can abuse that chicane a bit going in, and obviously track limits won't get it for you if you're on regular corner cutting there, and 20.5 in the first sector. So a decent start, but of course we'll have Leclerc behind us on his first lap, so imagine any time we take here will be obviously to get marked off likely immediately by Leclerc unless we come through with a decent lap. So Stroll for the first time on the board, home race obviously, 1 minute 12.5 for him. On the board for us, 1 minute 12.046, and Leclerc goes 4 tenths faster. So a bit of a poor start as we make our way through turns 1 and 2 once again to complete our first flying lap. As you make our way through turn 2 and off corner exit, you can see a lot of time to be gained there because we made a mistake on our first lap, so try and improve on that as the session goes on. On to our second set of soft tyres. We accelerate time here. We're a second down on what is now Carlos Sainz's fastest time. 1 minute 11.014. So a lot of work to be done there. And obviously we're a lot further down the grid than we might have anticipated. I think during qualifying, things are getting a lot closer as the season progresses on. So push on to our second set of soft tyres and across the line for our second lap, improving by 6 tenths, including a personal best the first 2 seconds and an overall best last sector. So a lot of progress made there. We're going to one more set of soft tyres, but we're trying to get some more time like this. We're at P5 on the board now, at P6 coming towards the flag to complete this qualifying session, up by a quarter of a second going into turns 13 and 14 past the world champions. Poor exit there, we lost all of that time unfortunately. Dropped the wheel onto the grass as well, so towards the line it was going to be P6 for us in the end. Unfortunate. I thought we had the pace there to try and grab a place or 2 more on the starting grid, but you know what, P6 is still decent, so we'll look at getting some more points in the Grand Prix.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who'll be fronting the grid. Sainz, Perez and Lando Norris. Goodbye for now then, but really we're just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So Sainz takes pole, then Perez starts from second place, and Lando Norris showing McLaren's mettle by qualifying in third. He's a quarter of a second off of Sainz. Leclerc fourth, Verstappen fifth, and we qualify in sixth place in front of Hamilton in eighth. Honestly, could get some points over Verstappen if we do good in this Grand Prix today, but it's time now to head into the race.
It's time once again then to go racing here in Montreal, the second largest French-speaking city in the world, and home since 1978 to the Canadian Grand Prix. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Cohen, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Gasly, and Daniel Ricciardo. Ocon, Magnussen, Guan Yu Zhou, and Mick Schumacher. Albon, Tsunoda, Lance Stroll, and Nicholas Latifi. Vettel and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And a warm welcome to Natalie Pinkham, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's talk about Cohen. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, they've been avoiding mistakes and have had solid pace, so it's been a good season so far. But whether they can keep that up long term remains to be seen.
So here we go then, no more talking, time for action from P6 on the grid from the Canadian Grand Prix and seeking our second Grand Prix win of the season with, crucially, Verstappen alongside us there in 5th place, so a good start, potentially maybe try and jump him in the race today. In terms of strategy, of course, we've gone for the default strategy, mediums to hards, all season so far, but today we're going to try something different because Verstappen has done fantastic on the alternate strategy. So we'll start on the hard tyres and go on the mediums for the flag, and hopefully that longer first stint will help us in the long run over the course of 35 laps.
The formation lap gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out.
So Sainz, Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen and myself all start on the hard tyres, everyone else on the mediums here, so we're the 5 outliers going to this Grand Prix. And at the very back of the field there, Valtteri Bottas, Alfa Romeo have put on a set of soft tyres. What is their game plan over the Grand Prix? Let's just try and see what they're doing, so we'll try and find out.
We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
It's coming towards the grid now, past the iconic Wall of Champions, and looking to line up on the grid from our P6 starting spot. Of course, a good start will be crucial, and a good first stint overall will be crucial as we try and get to the front of the field and then push on the medium tyres right towards the end of the Grand Prix. But crucial, that's to make sure we don't run these things out too early, these hard tyres, in the opening stint of the race. Of course, the first 20 laps, so a long way to go on hard tyres, but hopefully we'll be able to make those last. The last few cars now taking their places on the starting grid. The Aston Martin on the left there, of course, Bottas in dead last on the right on those soft tyres, looking for a strong first stint himself as the lights come on for the Canadian Grand Prix to get round 7 of the season underway. Lights out, foot to the floor, and we are racing here in Canada. Good start from Verstappen on our left there, going towards turn 1. We haven't lost any place, but Alonso down the inside towards that first corner. Going to try and go around the outside to try and take a place off of Verstappen or Leclerc here, going through turns 1 and 2. Alonso on our outside, so we can't really move up as of yet. Let's try and clear him on corner exit. The Alpine goes alongside us, using some battery, going down towards turn 3 for the first time. Up front, though, it looks like Sainz and Norris are fighting the lead. Norris into P1 off the start, but Sainz taking a lead back of Verstappen with a poor exit out turn 4 and go through 5 and now take advantage of that and got the inside of Leclerc for turn 6. So it's 2 places gained here on the start. If we can get around Leclerc on the outside on corner exit, sliding there through turn 6, but clearing the Ferrari and up into 4th place then. So a decent getaway, and our work now shifts towards chasing down Sergio Perez. On to lap 3 then, DRS in play for the first time. It's been a good lap so far. We used a lot of our battery here, but we'll have DRS to our advantage. This time going down towards turn 13. Perez has it too, but of course we get less slipstream off of Lando Norris, who's currently chasing Sainz for the lead to the outside of the racetrack going towards turn 13, and Perez stays over the chicane, defends his position as nicely as he can and maintains that spot for now. So we're staying P4 for the minute, and Leclerc right behind us. Norris fastest lap. That McLaren is quick. Keep an eye on Norris over this course, this Grand Prix. This could be a podium potentially if McLaren play their cards right. Onto lap 5, yellow flag behind us. Looks like one of the Alfa Romeos has got a problem. Imagine if Guan Yu Zhou is going to make our way through. Safety car's been deployed. So very early on in this Grand Prix, has he crashed the car? I'm not entirely sure what's happened back there. I imagine it's not Bottas because Zhou was mid-pack in qualifying, started P13, and you saw the car obviously stuck on the mini-map, watching the number of cars going by him. So the car is still stuck on the racetrack. So I'm not quite sure if he's out of the race, if he's going to carry on, or if he's potentially only front wing damage to make up towards turns. He's been disqualified. What on earth for? That is mighty confusing. What's happened to Zhou here? He's being chased by Daniel Ricciardo, and an on-corner exit of turn 14, loses the back end, spins off into the inside barrier, and loses his front wing. It's a crash I've seen many times before on F1 22 at this circuit in particular, but he just sort of sits there. And imagine if they've disqualified him for stopping on track. I'm not entirely sure what the game's thought there, but Zhou is out of the Grand Prix, unfortunately. It's down to 19 cars in this thing, and obviously, as I said, a safety car was brought out. Sainz leads the race then from Norris, Perez, myself in 4th, Leclerc 5th, and Alonso, Verstappen, Hamilton, Gasly, and Ricciardo. Ocon's just gone out of the race, and Zhou's been given a 5-second penalty. No clue what for. What's going on in this Grand Prix? So very early on, as happens to think when you allow broadcast safety car in this game, it just allows for anything crazy to happen. But coming on towards the restart now and looking for a good run, we can try and take Perez on this restart on corner exit if we can. We'll obviously abuse the safety car rules as much as we can and try to make that move, but obviously stay behind him all the way up to the line and then go for it going towards turn 1. So green flag goes back in the air. Sainz leads us back to racing on lap number 8, the outside of Perez towards turn 1, but Perez has got other ideas. There he goes up the inside of Lando Norris looking for second place. Sainz pulls away, and these two acting as a barricade here for us to try and try not get any places back. So staying P4 right now, but Norris is holding everyone at bay right now. Those medium tyres perhaps starting to wear out. You see Perez looking for an opportunity. He can't pass himself, and obviously we can't pass Perez as of yet. So staying P4 on the restart, our Sainz gaining the advantage here. On to lap 8 now. We'll make our move closing on Perez. Going to try and go to the outside again, going towards turn 13. Used a fair bit of our battery once again. Perez again defends his line, goes over the curbs there, but holds on to his place robustly and fairly. But let's try and use a bit more of our battery now, using overtake, going full balls to the wall, throwing the kitchen sink at it, into turn 1, into the braking zone, out braking Perez on the outside. He goes over the curbs there, hold our own on the inside, and going into turn 2. That should be P3 for us on corner exit. If we slide in front of Perez, yes! P3 is secure onto the rostrum for the first time today, and working now on chasing down that McLaren. It's gained about a second or so advantage to our Sainz, 3 seconds in front right now, so work to be done to try and close down our other championship rival. Verstappen has been nowhere today. He's been outside of the top 5 throughout the Grand Prix so far. It's pushed further on now towards the last corner once again, and run the tail of Norris here a few laps later, going over those curbs, out to turn 14 and down the main straight towards turn 1 once again. Going to pull to the outside, they're going towards that first corner as we did on Perez, going into the braking zone around the outside of our compatriot. It'll be the inside for turn 2. We'll take full advantage of the line switching in our favour, and on corner exit, those McLaren's medium tyres are struggling here, but Norris gets a good drive off going towards turn 3. So side by side once again into the right hand here. Got the inside line going in over the curb there and around the outside, holding place over Norris and taking P2 away now. And there's nothing separating us except for 2.6 seconds separating us from the race leader Carlos Sainz. Of course, the driver we can try and jump in the championship with a good result today, making our way off of turn 7, and work begins on hunting the Spaniard down as we push further on now to lap 17, nearing our pit window here. It's been a particularly good lap this one, to make our way off of turns 13 and 14 and closing that gap down almost to within DRS range. We're just over a second behind Sainz right now to come towards the line. It'll be the fastest lap for us, so a bonus point coming our way if we can try and maintain that for the rest of the race, but of course still a long way to go in this thing, only halfway through at this stage of the Grand Prix, and Sainz is still there in front of us. He's our main focus. That bonus point will mean nothing if we can try and get another 7 here. We're trying to take Sainz and winning this thing. So going down towards turn 13 and lap 19 here, just a lap before our pit window opens, and closing on Sainz all the time, going down towards the braking zone once again into the last chicane and try and make a move on corner exit if we can, using those curbs again to try and gain some more time. Sainz a bit more cautious in his entry, going into turn 13, but going back towards turn 1, our pit window opening on lap 20. They go down the inside of the Spaniard towards turn 1. Mercedes versus Ferrari into the first corner, the second and third fastest cars behind Red Bull right now. As we make our way through, bit of contact going through turn 2, tried to switch back to the inside but couldn't do it until corner exit, and pulling alongside Sainz now for turn 3. But right there, he's got to give us the space going into the corner where first the apex, we're able to shut him out a bit more forcibly there, and into the race lead for the first time on lap 20. It's been a merry chase of chasing Carlos Sainz down, but we've managed to do it, and for the first time today the race lead is in our possession. But Sainz isn't done just yet, going down towards the hairpin at turn 10. Sainz on the inside will try and outbrake us here on the way through. He's got the inside line, got the better corner on our exit to make our off though, around the outside, maintaining the spot and holding on to it only just through turn 12 as he make our way down towards the DRS zone. Of course, Sainz, I'm not sure if he's pitting with us this lap, but I have to keep an eye, because if he goes for that move, he'll have to clear us. So obviously we'll try and get him back, try and outbrake him into the pit lane. Sainz to the inside, going down towards turn 13 once again. He's going to stay out though. We're going to go into the pit lane now, so Sainz gets one more lap, and we're coming in for our first and only stop of this race. The hard tyres work perfectly, the safety car definitely helped in that case. And in now for our change onto medium tyres, and in this case, these guys going as hard as we can all the way towards the end of the Grand Prix, and hopefully that'll be enough to try and give us a win. And of course, in terms of pit lane time, how long we're in the pit lane for, because that'll be crucial, because we'll see exactly how much an advantage we can gain over Sainz and Perez here. So we're in the pit lane for about 22.5 seconds as I make way through, and Sainz and Perez about 16 seconds in front of us right now. So we emerge in front of Lando Norris, of course, pitted a few laps ago onto his hard set tyres, go to the end of the Grand Prix on those. And Sainz and Perez about 14 and 16 seconds in front of us right now. So I should imagine we could actually emerge with a decent advantage here as those two make their way into the pit lane at the end of number 21. But Norris is right behind us. Could try and cause a bit of pressure going towards turn 13 again. But of course, his hard tyres, obviously, have got a few laps on them already. And our medium tyres are completely fresh to make our way through the chicane once again. Those two emerging from their pit boxes here and heading back towards the racetrack once again to make our way towards the line start lap 30 to lap 22 here to come towards turn 1 again. Perez and Sainz are there. Perez has jumped Sainz in the pits, so the Spaniard has not had things work out from that Ferrari, and Norris has jumped both cars here. We take the lead back. Norris now in second, Perez third, Sainz in fourth. So once again, Carlos Sainz, who's had a number of times this season for him, has been in a race winning position and has been dismissed in the pit stops or by some sort of measure. Perhaps it might have been a safety car in previous races as it was in Saudi Arabia. In this case, it's the strategy, and Ferrari have let him down there. On to lap 28, we've got the fastest lap back, and we are pulling away to a 4-second advantage over Perez here. Sainz, Perez, Norris are all fighting as Leclerc retires in the race there. So one Ferrari is out, the other one has had the race win denied from at this stage of the race. Let's see what happens to Leclerc as he makes his way through turns 13 and 14. Quite a way back from the cars in front of me, that pack of Hamilton, Verstappen and Alonso, as he pulls the car over to the right hand side. Smoke starts pouring from that Ferrari, and it's game over for Leclerc, who had to pull the car over at turn 1 there as Alonso leads that train. But in that time, Verstappen did manage to get around him, and in the end will come through to finish in the top 5 overall. We'll make our way now onto the last lap. We're in complete control of this thing, maintaining an advantage of about 3.5 seconds over Perez and Sainz. Perez keeping Sainz at bay the entire way through. Norris in P4 right now, and Verstappen hunting him for P5, but will not make it as they make our way down towards turn 13 for the last time. Of course, it's been a long time coming. This it's obviously the last time we won was back in Saudi Arabia round 2. That's only just about 5 races ago, but it feels like an eternity since then. Of course, several second place finishes, but that drought will come to an end today, and we'll try and reinstate our title challenge as we run towards the line, going off the throttle towards the checker flags, take our second win of the season in the Canadian Grand Prix. A fantastic drive all the way from P6 on the grid. I thought we had the pace today, and using that strategy that Red Bull played to their advantage the last 2 rounds in Miami and Spain, we played it for ourselves and it worked like a dream. And Verstappen with slightly poor results today means we should gain some crucial points in the race for the Drivers' Championship. What a day.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So our second win of the season and our 6th of the series in F1 Ultimate Career. Perez finishes second and Sainz takes away third. So both myself and Sainz will gain crucial points on Verstappen in the standings. Of course, as I say, came home 5th in the end. So it won't be as many points as you might hope, because he was in 7th, 8th or 9th at one stage of the Grand Prix. So quite a way back. But the celebrations begin then, and well on the R&D for all 3 manufacturers to get their teams on the podium. Gutted for Lando Norris that he couldn't join us up here as well. But I hope his day will come, that McLaren looks strong, could definitely upset the top teams. But let's have a look now at the results and how the standings have changed.
And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. This result then narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
I have to give it to Cohen. They did a great job at getting the very most out of the tyres without losing pace. Something that's a very handy skill to have in modern Formula One.
Let's move on to the constructors. And pulling further ahead in the standings, it's Red Bull. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
The rest of the top 10, then Norris finishes in 4th place, Verstappen comes on in 5th, just 2 seconds behind him, Alonso 6th, Hamilton, our teammate, finishes 7th, then Ricciardo, Magnussen and Schumacher round out the top 10. Yet another double point score for Haas, that team doing a fantastic job in the first 7 races this season. Of course, we'll see now, in terms of that gap to Verstappen, how much that gap has closed down now. We're up to 2nd place in the World Championship once again. 17 points back from Max, so still a ways to go in this thing. But now we're the closest car to the Dutchman and with the best chance of upending him in terms of the race for the title. Sainz 5 points back from us in P3, so still very much in it himself. And the Constructors Red Bull increased their lead to Ferrari, of course. We're still 50 points back. I think unless Lewis gets himself moving, we won't be able to challenge in the Constructors. But guys, that'll do it for this episode of the F1 Ultimate Career Series. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, as always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more future F1 content. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.